Hey guys, Coach Julie here, back with you again to talk about how to simplify our life a bit. So if you've been following me for any extent of time, you know I often say, choose you, create what you crave, right? That is really what this is about. That's what this page is about. That is what I am about. And it is about sharing how to do that. One of the most common questions I get is, or kind of, people come to me, they're like, I want to prioritize myself. I don't know how. It's like, it's been so long. I've always put everyone else in front of me. So how do I make me the priority now? And that's what I want to share today. How to do that, how to level up in your life by choosing you. I believe when we simplify our lives, we amplify them. I believe the catalyst to that is putting ourselves first, despite everything going on around us. I believe that being selfish is selfless. When you win, the people around you win. The woman I was before I really stepped into this space of contending for me, I was not a good mom. I was an impatient mama. I elevated my voice quite often out of frustration. I was also not a good career woman. I was exhausted, right? I wasn't performing at my abilities and capabilities in my career because I was depleted, right? I believe that we all have the abilities to claw our ways back out of those holes, those ditches, those trenches, if we choose. But it is a choice. And here's what it starts with. It starts with belief. It starts with believing that making you a priority is not the evil form of selfish. It starts with believing that you deserve to be number one in your life. It starts with believing that when you are, that the other people that you love most and care about will actually win, right? They will win far beyond you putting all of their needs and wants and requests in front of your own. It takes a belief that you're modeling and showing the way on how you allow other people to treat you. When you put yourself last, guess what? Others are not going to put you first. They're going to follow suit. They're like, oh, she's all right with being there. He's okay with being there. So we're just going to allow and accept. Maybe they even enjoy it, right? I believe deprioritizing ourselves is a cop-out. It's a way for us to avoid what we really want to create. So until we believe that there is more, until we believe that we owe it to ourselves to be the priority in our life, until we believe that, it's just going to be a thought, something we should do or something we think we want to do. It's not going to become the way that you show up every day. Now, one way to drill into this belief is to really uncover not just the why, but the ripple of that why. I put myself first because I know that when I do, XYZ happens, right? I put myself first and I choose me because when I do that, I get to fill in the blank. So it starts above the shoulders and between the ears. And my guess is if you've spent any time thinking, oh, I should do this. I'm feeling pulled to prioritize myself first. Or anytime thinking, I'm always on the back burner. People always put me on the back burner. I'm going to encourage you to shift your mindset. That when we are blaming others for putting us there, it's actually because we are putting ourselves there. And I say this all because I've been there. I've been there over and over and over again. And I do believe that I now have the code to get us unstuck out of our own way and to choose you over and over and over again for the rest of your life. So if that's something you want, hang with me today. I'm going to share a couple things, certainly not all the things. If you want more assistance in this, the key driver to this is the accountability and the like-minded people around you. You're going to find that this way of thinking goes against the grain. So when you are surrounded by people who believe that putting themselves on the back burner is what you're supposed to do, it's going to be really hard for you to prioritize you for the long term. So I believe that you need someone who has the similar values as you do, because this is against the grain for most of us. It's why we've landed where we have. Okay. All right. So let's start with choosing you by putting your oxygen mask on. This is the first thing I believe we have to do. And what I mean by that is get your health in check. Most of us do not have the energy, the clarity, or the endurance in our day-to-day to choose us over others because we're tired, because we're walking around in a place of unhealth. We are fueling our bodies with crap in the mind and in the body. And it's become the norm. So there's a couple different areas of health that you can work on, right? Sleep. Prioritizing sleep in your life is choosing you. Healthy motion. Now that doesn't mean you have to go to the gym for an hour a day, right? Watch my last video I did last week. It may mean that you spend 3 minutes a day with intentional motion. It may mean that you shoot to get a certain number of time or steps in, time on feet. Hydration and nutrition, literal food and fuel for your body, right? If you're eating crap, you're going to feel like crap. How are you going to choose you? How is that choosing you? Right? It's an imperfect process. If you are fueling with high octane fuel and food, you are going to operate at a high octane level. Stress management, another area of health, right? We live in a chronically overstressed, overworked world. We get caught up in the inertia of do all and be all. And when we don't, we feel like we're falling short. I am a huge advocate of therapeutic practices that help people and equip people for managing their stress. I believe a lot of that comes from putting good stuff into you, right? Good thoughts, good people, right? Having good people around you, fueling yourself up with good, nutritious foods, hydrating, right? When we have our oxygen mask on, the way we respond to stressors and overcome situations is way different than when we're feeling pain, inflammation, bloat, fatigue, when we're zapped. So put your oxygen mask on. Welcome to my world, guys. My brain often gets ahead of my mouth. So choosing you starts with fueling your system with good thoughts, good people, and good food. Pick one of those areas to start working on, and I guarantee you're going to start making progress towards prioritizing yourself. Next, this is another action that you can do to start prioritizing you and keep prioritizing you. This is very, very important for the long term. I call it daydreaming or weekly dreaming, right? But it's done in the day. Gain clarity at least once a week. Spend 30 minutes on a Sunday reflecting on your week and looking and dreaming about your future. The majority of us, I will say probably 99% of people, They live in the here and now, and they are caught up in the mundane, the to-do list, the day-to-day hustle and grinds, and they never look forward. And guess what? The steps you're taking now might be leading to a destination that you don't actually want to go, but we're not looking at the destination. We're not looking and pivoting and adjusting. I love this analogy. This was shared with me years ago, but imagine a plane in the sky shooting for, maybe they're going from New York to California, and their nose is pointed in New York at San Francisco. A slight adjustment of that nose, they may land in Mexico, right? Very slight pivots of the nose can completely change the trajectory of your life. Life is constantly coming at us, right? We dodge, we adjust, okay? But a lot of times those adjustments lead us pointed where we don't actually want to go. And we forget that we have to take the time and space to recalibrate and adjust that nose where we actually want to go. So, one, choose you by choosing health. Start working on some area of your health. Not all of them, one at a time. Two, spend one time a week. For some of my people, it's daily, okay? 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a week, 30 minutes a week. Start with what you know you absolutely can do. Sit in thought and calibrate. Am I going where I want to go? You got to know where that is, right? Check out my last video if you haven't. That might help calibrate you. Okay. And then the third, you must surround yourself with people who get it. Hands down, the game changer. Because there will be judgment. There will be others who will call and say and act as if what you are doing is selfish. And that is an indicator that you are moving in the right direction. But many of us take it as the indicator to retreat. So when you are in a room with people who are contending for the similar things that you are contending for, who have the same values or similar values as you do, you are going to be far more successful because you are far more capable than what most of the people around you believe in themselves. It has nothing to do with you. So you must bring others in the fold with you. You must create that layer of protection and support and fuel to your fire. There's a couple skills that I'm talking about here, right? And these are things that I've learned. So I know, excuse me, if I can learn it, anybody can, right? These are not innate things. Yes, some things are, right? We have different personalities that are, maybe more apt to go a certain direction, or that grit and resilience and that those experiences that we bring along with us all shape and mold who we are. But there are skills that I'm talking about here. And if you're willing to work the skills over and over, you're going to be able to create the life that you crave. So the one skill I talked about was the ability to calibrate and adjust. I recommend, spending time with that once a week, but every, 30 to 90 days, everyone's a little bit different. I recommend really drilling in. Where do I want to be in the next 90 days? What do I want to feel? What is my career, my personal life, my business life? What does that look like in 90 days? That's that slight adjustment of that nose of the plane. When a little turbulence hits and you get a little off track and it pulls you back on. Okay. So one skill is the skill and maybe the willingness. This game is a game of adjustments. We must be willing to adjust, and we must set a time to think about what those adjustments need to be. Two, another skill. We focus on how far we've come not how far we have to go. So once you start this process of creating what you crave, you're going to build your confidence again. You're going to build trust in you. You're going to take small action over time that is going to make you believe that you can take bigger, more bolder action over time and get further and further into that dream. So focus on the way. One of the greatest habits, there's a lot of science behind the act of actually celebrating those small wins and how far you've come. So we celebrate the gain. We take a peek at that gap because there's always somewhere to go, guys. There's always that next place that we can go. And if I'm being honest, some will never be satisfied. And that's not a bad thing, right? For a lot of us, that is the drive. You know what? I've still got more to give. I've still got a place to go. I've got a lot of life left. There's a lot of good I can do with it. Okay? So focus on the gain. Recognize what's out in front of you. Celebrate the wins of how far you've come. The last skill I'm going to give you, and I call this a skill. I say it's go pro at saying no. Because we live in a world where saying yes is like a badge of honor. I keep saying yes. I keep taking more on. I'm a doer. I'm getting it all done. Meanwhile, every night, you're a crumble on the floor in your bedroom. That is not success for most of us. If it is for you, go for it. But to prevent that from happening, you have to get really, really clear on what you want, where you're going, and run every decision through that filter. We become a pro at saying no. We say no more than we say yes. We simplify to amplify. All right, guys, I know that was a lot of information today. It starts with belief. It keeps going with the commitment to recommit and practice these things. It's going to be imperfect. Showing up every single day in this way. You're going to have days where you don't. Expect it. Lower the bar. Okay? The win is in how far you've come. It's a game of adjustments. So set some time up for you, just you, to look out to that future, do a little daydreaming, decide, am I going in the direction that I want? Know where that is. And be willing to shift, be willing to adjust as you need. When turbulence hits, we almost always have to recalibrate afterwards. Okay. Grit and resilience, two of the characteristics I think that are the most prevalent in the most successful people. It's not that nobody else is capable of what they have attained, acquired. It's that they're not willing to push through in times of adversity. We retreat. Grit and resilience. And I know a lot of you watching have been through a lot of life. You've done hard things, and there's a lot of grit there. Get really clear in how you want to apply that grit and resilience in your life. It's a gift. And then surround yourself with people who get it. That's what I'm here for. Okay. So if you want to create more in your life, if you want to choose you and be around others that are choosing themselves, reach out. My email is jhatfieldfitness@gmail.com. You can private message me on Facebook or in this group. I would be happy to sit on a call with you and hear more about what you want to create. All right, guys, let's go out there. Let's simplify. Let's amplify. Let's choose ourselves and prioritize us because no one else is. All right. Have a great day.